This week on King Spotlight, we are here with Monarch football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, it's hard to believe, but this is the final game of the 2012 season. On Saturday, your Monarchs take the short bus ride to Schmidt Stadium and the Rawson Athletic Complex for the 17th annual Mayor's Cup game against our crosstown rival Wilkes University. This is obviously a huge rivalry game with a lot of emotion involved, and the game will also be televised locally. So what has practice been like this week in preparation?
Very enthusiastic, a lot of emotion. We're off to a good start there as the kids are, 1 week left, and then how important the game is with a rival. They all have rivals, but not many of them have rivals that are 3 blocks down the street. So it adds a little special incentive to it, and obviously anytime you play for a trophy, that adds to it as well. And then the seniors done a great job, and our kids are want to send them out the right way. So yesterday was an enthusiastic, upbeat, very good practice.
Coach, you had been involved in a similar rivalry before you came to Kings when you were an assistant coach at Muhlenberg College, and you played neighboring Moravian every year. What does a game like this mean for the campus of both Kings and Wilkes, with the involvement of the city of Wilkes-Barre and Mayor Tom Layton, as well as the local community?
It adds a sense of pride from there. I mean, when we were I was at Muhlenberg, it was kind of the Lehigh Valley bragging rights from the Valley standpoint. Here it's bragging rights for a city. And then again, we both have a good number of local guys, so they know each other, compete against each other. So again, there's that incentive to again be able to be around town and be local and know that hey, we for a year we have the one up on on the other school from that standpoint. And then we look at it as a personal pride. I mean, the mayor is a love of Kings. We're playing for the Mayor's Cup, so we kind of look at that's our cup, and we currently don't have it in our possession, and we need to do everything we can and work hard to make sure at 4 o'clock Saturday, we can have the Mayor's Cup back to the alma mater of our mayor.
There are a lot of reasons both schools should be proud of the rivalry, one being the great sportsmanship both teams exhibit in the post-game ceremony when the game MVP award and the Mayor's Cup trophy are presented. As you said, there are a lot of kids who played against each other in high school and also played with each other. So both schools do show a lot of class and respect towards one another. From your vantage point, talk about the positives you see in this rivalry.
That's the neat thing, that it kind of adds a little extra. It makes this rivalry even more special. A lot of times you think school set by 3 blocks, there'd be a lot of dislike and not a lot of sportsmanship in a rivalry and just a pure hatred. And that's not the case in this rivalry. Kings and Wilkes do a lot of things together and have a great relationship, 51 weeks of the year. And then the 52nd week, you're going to compete like crazy, just like you compete with your brother. But at the end of the day, you love your brother. From that standpoint. So us and Wilkes have a good relationship. But come Saturday, you compete like crazy and try to win that football game. But when it's all said and done, you can pat each other on the back, say a good job, show great class, and cheer for the victor. And console the loser from there. So that's the impressive thing that I've noticed in this rivalry, being involved in it, is that the class and the level of sportsmanship and respect both schools have for each other.
Coach, looking back to last year very briefly, the game was played in a rare October snowstorm where we had 5 inches of snow come down. What memories do you have from that game?
It was pretty cold. The most vivid memory I have is because it was a TV game, and the kids get jacked about TV. And they were excited to play in the snow and all that, but after we scored a 1 touchdown, getting ready to kick off, so it's late in the game, everyone's drenched, and the whole kickoff team, they're just shivering, and then they're like, I can't believe we have another TV timeout to have to put up with. They just, because that was another 90 seconds that they were out in the wind and the snow, and from that point, so it's kind of a unique experience that the kids kind of will never forget from there. And obviously, the funny thing was, the first year we played them week 10, and it was 60-some degrees out in the middle of November. Then we play them Halloween weekend a few weeks earlier, and there's 5-7 inches of snow. The wind's howling, so it's kind of been a weird weather scenario from that standpoint.
Looking ahead to this year's game, you have had the chance to see your offense develop with a lot of new players. Can you share with us your thoughts about how far the offense has come from the start of the season until where it's at right now?
Yeah, we're very overall pleased with the development that we've shown offensively. And that you need to be able to run the ball to be successful, and especially in this conference from there, and it helps open up the pass and everything, and then just the growth of the running game, and then have an opportunity to for our offense to produce a 1,000-yard rusher. Those kids can take great pride in that and blocking for them, and Kyle running and doing a good job from there, and that's helped open up the passing game, which we've seen develop with a lot of young players being involved in that to get better through the year and be able to take advantage of opportunities and hit some big plays here lately in the passing game. So it's kind of coming together where the run game helps open up the pass game. They're making plays when plays are there, and then we're going to strive this week to be more consistent and then continue to try to get better when we get to that red zone.
Well, sophomore quarterback Tyler Hartranft has started since week 2 on to this game. And he has really made a lot of progress throughout the season, especially playing behind a very young offensive line that was essentially learning week by week. Talk about Tyler going from week 2 to where he's at right now.
I mean, he's made tremendous progress, and you can see that with him because he's a kid. He's a heck of a lot of a care about him, a desire to be successful. And he understands quarterback and that there's more to it than just show him practice. He's always in our office. If he's not in class, he's in here watching film. He's highly intelligent, so he's able to pick things up. And as he's gotten more comfortable and understand what we're doing, we've been able to put some of the more intangible things on his plate with checks and snap count and those types of things to try to create an edge in there. And then he's worked hard to become more consistent and more of a playmaker, and you've seen that in his play as the weeks go by.
Wilkes' defense has traditionally been very physical and tough to run on, and they will certainly be looking to slow down our sophomore tailback, Tyler McGrath, who is second in the MAC in rushing yardage with nearly 900 yards. How critical will it be for McGrath, as well as backup tailback Judens Goimbert, to effectively run the ball in this game?
It'll be key. I mean, again, that's Wilkes is their typical defense like you described. They're very physical. Tate Moore-Jacobs is one of the best linebackers in the conference and in this area. Again, he's very physical, and they're geared up to to kind of stop the run. And we have to be able to try to take advantage of it with play action and do some things in the passing game. But we're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively to have sustained success on Saturday. So it's going to be a great challenge for our guys up front. To continue to work to get better, to find lanes for Kyle to have success and Judens to have success around the football.
And you referenced the passing game, and knowing that Wilkes will be looking to stop McGrath and Goimbert, what roles do your receivers have in this game?
Well, one, to continue, they have to be involved blocking from there. But then in the pass game, to take advantage of the opportunities that have been presented in the past weeks and kind of build on that, and that there's going to be opportunities for some home run type shots and just regular move the chain type plays, and they've worked hard. They're running really good routes, catching the ball better, and continue to do that on Saturday, that when we need to throw the football, we can throw it with confidence and success to move the chains and then possibly get over the top and have a big play.
One of the major tasks in this game will be for your defense to try to contain the Wilkes spread offense, especially the running game, where the Colonels are second in the MAC with over 230 yards per game rushing. Wilkes plays 2 quarterbacks in juniors Tyler Bernston and Alex George, who are both dangerous passing and running the ball. Talk about the dynamics of the Wilkes offense and how both quarterbacks have factored in.
That's the key, the quarterbacks. I mean, with them, when they get in their spread stuff and then they fake the ball and you got a quarterback run, I mean, in essence, you get an extra blocker. So that creates, extra lanes, another blocker, chance for the quarterbacks to run, who are tall, athletic, quarterbacks. So that's going to be the challenge for us, is to make sure we know where the ball is. Do they fake it? Do they hand it off? And account for the quarterback when he's running the ball. A lot of times you don't have to do that, and that's the challenge, and that's a hard challenge to have, and that's the success what Wilkes is having running the football. When you have quarterbacks that can carry the load as well as talented running backs.
Wilkes lost their starting tailback in week 3 and have since received some good production from a few backs. But in particular, freshman Pete Nguli has done an admirable job, totaling 479 yards and averages 4.7 yards per carry. He's not very big at 5'8", 160 pounds, so what makes him so effective? I
mean, he's got good speed. I mean, he was a good, highly recruited running back at a high school, so we knew Wilkes had landed a couple good freshman, quality running backs. And you're seeing what he kind of did in high school. He's a fast kid, got good vision, and so that helps when you're little from there. If you get good vision, good speed, they can't hurt you if they can't catch you. And then so he understands how to run, and he's not taking a whole lot of direct shots. So his size hasn't been a problem from there. And then again, with above average speed, he's getting on the edge, and no one's getting squared up to get good shots on him. So they haven't really missed a beat when the injury happened to their older guy, and they plugged him in. He's kind of kept him rolling.
The Colonel's receiving corps does not have one player in particular with lofty numbers, but they have several players who have contributed, as 7 different players have 10 or more catches on the year. Talk about the group of receivers and what they bring to the table.
I mean, they're similar to us as well in that they have not one playmaking guy, but a bunch of guys. So you really can't key on one guy. And we've seen that with us. We're able to spread the ball around to our guys. So conversely with Wilkes is that, if you kind of know you have a standout guy, you can try to tilt coverage and do some things to neutralize him because the offense is all about him. But when you have it spread around, Wilkes, then they're going through progressions, and who's open they're gonna throw the ball to. So you just have to play good, sound, fundamental coverage and make plays on the ball, and we won't be able to key on one receiver because they're using all of them.
Coaches always talk about special teams and their importance. How do you see special teams impacting this game?
It's going to be huge. I mean, it's been huge, I think, the last couple games with Wilkes, and even through our season from there. We're happy with the majority of the improvements we've made in the kick game. Our kids are working tremendously hard. Sima Tuda Torbo has done a phenomenal job as a mug guy for us when we do our punt rush, and his technique we show in film, and we have even more younger guys being able to emulate that and doing a great job. And Dan Kempa has grown as a punt returner, and then our punt return team has become a weapon. And then we were able to take a kick return to the house last week with young guys understanding the blocking and how important it is. And when you have a good returner that they have trust in, they want to do a good job blocking from there. And then we were able to block a punt, last week. And we just have to work on, trying to do a better job getting more distance with our punts and covering from there. But, the kick game, that's where you win and lose football games. There's a lot of momentum to be won or lost. And then, hidden yardage. And we got to be able to win, the hidden yardage and win the field position battle and make Wilkes with, their spread offense go a lot farther to the goal line than a lot closer.
Well, Coach, that's all the time we have for today. Good luck to you and the Monarchs Saturday at 12 noon when the 17th annual Mayor's Cup game is played at Schmidt Stadium. Go to www.kingscollegeathletics.com to check out the Kings football pregame coverage for a listing of radio, video, and live stats coverage for those who cannot attend the game. Coach, thanks again to you for your help on Monarch Spotlight throughout the entire season.
Thanks for having me.